Hello my beautiful people. Now welcome back again to my channel. Now maybe the Warri Girl. If today now the first time when you dey come my channel, God go bless you. I beg before you come up from this channel, try make you like this video and make you see subscribe to my channel. So for una one another they come since they come support me, God go really bless una. I appreciate everything one they do for this channel. God na him go bless una. So my people, we don dey talk about this edit. So many people dey instigate about the edit of 1979, and so many people say for the king to sit down for that throne, they not follow the due process. And I still want let una know say anything when the king talk na law. Okay, so now be the place of affirmacy. So una still need to understand some things concerning this tradition and custom of a thing when they happen. So I no fit really explain her to the way una go take understand am. Una no jump for my head. So I still try make I go find video of Chief Barrister Ario when he dey explain the whole thing. So I go dey put the video for una so that una go hear with una ear. Una tell me wetin una think about her if una watch this video to the end. Meanwhile, for the next video I go dey take una dey go Ogwaja community when dey for Sapele. So abeg, for their independence day, Nigeria independence day, e get wetin happen there. I no talk am for this video. So if you watch this video finish, make you try check the next video. Na there I go put am. So make una listen to wetin Chief Barrister Ario get to talk about the custom and the edict of 1979, about the significance of Ologbotsere for Warri Kingdom, and so many other things wey I talk for this video. So make una watch am. Bye.
A very good day to you. I remain Chief Robinson Orishemuminawo Ario. This is part 5 of our reaction to the audiovisual done by Marvin's, that worthy Edo son. In this part, we shall be focusing on 3 aspects of his presentation. One is the concept of affirmation, which he appears to be oblivious of. And the second is the relationship between custom and edict, or custom and written law. And of course, thirdly, the role and significance of the Ologbotsere in Warri Kingdom. Very quickly, one of the things that the young man said in his tape was that the reason why the proclamation of Ogiame Atuashe II of blessed memory did not have efficacy was that some nobles within the Shekiris did not approve of that declaration. That again is a reflection of a lack of understanding of the true custom and tradition of the Shekiri people. Every son and daughter of a Shekiri knows of the concept of affirmation, which is an integral part of our custom and tradition. Affirmation, translated in English, simply means when the king utters an injunction, it is law. In other words, the utterance of the king, the direction of the king does not come back to him void. So it is inconceivable for a person to say that the king made a proclamation and the proclamation was not acceptable to some nobles, or that the proclamation was then subject to the approval of some nobles. The young man should perhaps get himself more familiarized with this aspect of our custom and tradition. Now, let us understand the situation we have. On the one hand, we have a declaration that was made pursuant to an edict, Bendel State. In other words, it's an instrument of state. On the other hand, you have the Evidence Act. If you read section 16, 17, 18, and 73 of the Evidence Act 2011 as amended, you will be able to link it up with the proclamation that His Royal Majesty, that is Majesty Atuashe II of blessed memory did. In other words, his proclamation was done pursuant to section 16, 17, 18, and 73 of the Evidence Act, which is a federal legislation. So you have that on the one hand, and this other one made pursuant to a state legislation on the other hand. Therefore, what you should be asking yourself is that between these two and the inconsistency in them, which is that Yoruba, if a candidate's mother is Yoruba, he can be king. That is the only difference between the two. Where this sort of inconsistency exists, how is it resolved? Now, in the kind of democracy that we practice, you have hierarchies of laws. Now, on top of all the laws, whether made by the states, the federal, or the local government, is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the popular section is section 1, subsection 3, which makes every other law subservient to the Constitution. And the Constitution in section 4, subsection 5, provides that where there is an inconsistency between a state legislation and the federal legislation will prevail to the extent of that inconsistency. So your answer is provided by section 4, subsection 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. And what it simply says is that between these two documents, that was made pursuant to the federal legislation shall prevail. It settles the matter. And so the point, therefore, is that we must appreciate that where you have this kind of situation, you must read extensively, you must consult, you must interact with the relevant laws and statutes to be able to appreciate what the proper position of the law is. Now, this position itself is even supported by empirical fact. The young man did say that the Shekiris are aboriginally Bini and Yoruba. Throughout his tape, he was trying to protect the Bini component of his Shekiri. Indeed, in fact, ask, do you want to wish away the Bini component of his Shekiri? My answer to that is no, nobody is trying to wish it away. In the same vein, the flip side, does he want to wish away the Yoruba component? Those who are interpreting this document as meaning that if a person's mother is Yoruba, the person cannot be king, are trying to distort the history and tradition of the Shekiri people. I say this because there is an inalienable component of the Ishekiri ethnic nationality, and that is Yoruba. Now, if you go into the history, you will discover that the 5 aboriginal communities that provided succor and support for the crown, that the crown came to meet on the ground, namely Omadino, Ugborodo, Iribo, Okotombo, and one other one, which I cannot remember now, were all migrants, like I have said before, from Yoruba land. As we speak, their homes, their quarters, still bear their name in those Yoruba communities back home. So what we are saying is that if you have 2 brothers of Ishekiri aboriginally, namely Bini and Yoruba, and you are trying to interpret a document that came less than 50 years ago, we're talking about a culture and tradition that is about 600 years old. Now you want to, just a few years ago, now conduct a surgery and remove one of the brothers. Now, if a Shekiri were a human being and has 2 brothers, and you're talking about inheritance, are you going to exclude one of the brothers? On what basis are you going to do that? When we say don't discriminate, we are not saying don't discriminate generally. We are saying don't discriminate with regard to the aboriginal composition of the Shekiri people. And so it is absolutely out of logic to exclude Yoruba from Ishekiri by way of interpreting that should a potential candidate for the throne have a Yoruba mother, that disqualifies that candidate. That is not the history of the Ishekiri people. And by the way, what that state declaration was supposed to do was not to create something, was to capture, to codify the oral tradition. Now, it is also interesting to note that the word that was used in that declaration was Edo origin and not Bini origin. Edo, you will agree with me, is a word that captures a wider spectrum. And I have explained this before. The history books, historians have said that both Edo and Yoruba are one and same thing. The only disagreement is which one is the father of the other. So having said this, I think we should rest it, in favor of the Constitution. Of all the laws that we have, one of them which is usually made subject to certain tests before they are regarded as law is the customary law. So where a customary law is seen or interpreted as excluding an aboriginal component, discriminating against Yoruba in favor of Bini, that will be seen by the Constitution as being repugnant by the Constitution, the Evidence Act, and the Delta State Law, customary court law, section 2425, thereabout, as being repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience, and to that extent cannot be regarded as law. You do not need any further law to explain that.